Okay, so today ang pag-aaralan natin is solving trigonometric equation. A trigonometric equation contains at least one trigonometric function. So pwede siyang sa isang equation, pwede siyang maglaman ng isang function lang or more kasi at least. Now, our example, cosine squared, cosine theta is equal to 2 sine squared theta minus 1. This is an example of trigonometric equation. However, it contains two trigonometric function. Cosine, yung isa, sine. Now, how to solve? Paano mo mag-solve ng ganitong klaseng trigonometric equation? Ang sinasolve dito is yung theta, the angle measure. So, ang sagot mo, ang final answer mo, kailangan express in degrees. 25 degrees, 10 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, something like that. Alright? Ganun ang pag-solve ng trigonometric equation. You are solving for the given angle measure or the theta. Now, halimbawa, ganito, paano natin isosolve? The best way to solve this particular example is to make them a single or common trigonometric function. Since sa example natin, cosine theta equals 2 sine squared theta minus 1, dalawang function na binigay, kailangan i-express lang natin yan into 1, magkaparehas. Paano yon? We will be using identities para maging magkamuka. Yung identities, makikita yun sa last topic natin, page 303. Now, I want you to look for an identity na may kinalaman sa sine squared theta. Ito. Kailangan mapalitan natin yung sine squared theta na may kinalaman na kay cosine. Meron. And that is to use Pythagorean identity. Ano ba yung Pythagorean identity sa page 303? Sabi doon, sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. So, papalitan natin yung sine squared theta ni so, isolve muna natin yung sine squared theta dito. Simple lang. Ito, transpose. So, magiging negative cosine squared theta. So, yan na yung magiging sagot. So, we are going to substitute sine squared theta here by 1 minus cosine squared theta. Again, this is Pythagorean identity. Saan ko ito nakuha? Pythagorean identity, page 303. Check out your book. Now, papalitan na natin. We will be replacing sine squared theta by this. Right? So, isulat natin. Cosine theta is equal to 2 times. Kasi multiply yan. Palitan mo yung sine squared theta neto. Alright? 1 minus cosine squared theta. We still have minus 1. After that, distribute 2 to 1 minus cosine squared. Sulat ko lang. Cosine theta, 2 times 1 is 2, minus 2 times cosine squared is 2 cosine squared theta. Alright, again, 2 times cosine squared, 2 cosine squared. Pagdikitin nyo lang. Alright, then we still have minus 1. And then we can simplify 2 minus 1, and that is 1. So, sulat lang natin. Cosine theta equals 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 minus 2 cosine squared theta. Now, since magkamukha na silang cosine, gawin na nating standard form. We need to transpose all of these terms to the other side para maging equal to 0. Alright, and then since mas malaki to square kaysa dito, we follow the degree form. Descending, mauna mo yung may square. So, ito, pababa. Ilipat natin. So, negative 2 cos squared, magiging positive. Positive cos squared theta. Again, transpose lang to. Alright? Next. Ito, hindi naman transpose, so copy. Positive cosine theta. Transpose positive 1, negative 1. And this side is already equal to 0. Now, quadratic yan. Trinomial yan. 1, 2, 3. So, parang mag-solve tayo ng quadratic trinomial. Para hindi kayo malito, the best way is, palitan muna natin yung cosine squared or cosine theta. Alright? Palitan mo yung cosine theta ng x. Siyempre, yung cosine squared theta, x is squared. Kasi may square siya. Kung yung cosine theta ay x, ang cosine squared theta ay x squared. Malinaw? Now, palitan natin para hindi kayo malito. So, yung 2 cosine squared, 2x squared. Pinalitan lang natin siya ng x squared. So, it's gonna be 2x squared. Again, yung cosine theta, papalitan lang natin ng x. So, plus x. Then, minus 1 equals 0. As you notice, quadratic yan. Paano mag-solve ng quadratic? Kailangan mag-factoring muna tayo. Tama? So, ano yung factors niyan kaya? Factors ng negative 1 na ang sum 1 pero may 2. So, since 2x squared yan, ang factors yan ay 2x and x. Yung negative 1 is 1 and 1. So, which is negative? Alright. Dito si negative, dito si positive. Let's just try kung tama yung factors natin. Alright. This is 2x. This is negative x. 2x minus x is positive x. So, tama yung gitna. Nakuha natin. Right? So, ito ang factors niya. 2x minus 1, x plus 1. So, dalawa ang sagot. Tama? Dito, change the sign. X is negative 1. Di ba change lang? Ganun din sa kabila. Dito, x is positive 1. Pero may 2 doon, kaya over 2. Alright? Now, ibabalik na natin yung x as cosine theta x. Kasi hindi naman x yung sinosolve natin, yung theta. So, balik na natin yon, yung x as cosine theta. So, solve for cosine theta equals 1/2. Yung isa, cosine theta equals negative 1. Sir, paano natin masasolve yung theta dyan? So, dalawa ang theta. Dito, at saka dito. The best way to solve this is to use the summarized table of values in your book on page 311. I want you to check your book, page 311, yung summarized table. Yung may sine, cosine, tangent, tangent, cotangent. Tapos tatapit lang natin. So, ano yung value ng angle? Alright? Na cosine, doon sa page 311, na 1/2 ang sagot. Alright. Cosine, pero 1/2 ang sagot. Anong angle? 30 degrees, 60 degrees, or 45? Tatlo lang yan, di ba? Alright, the answer is 60 degrees. Check nyo yung cosine 60 degrees if that's 1/2. So, correct. So, ang sagot dyan ay 60 degrees sa una. Now, sa pangalawa naman, hanapin nyo yung cosine, column ni cosine. Hanapin nyo kung anong angle, 30 degrees, 60 degrees, or 45 na ang sagot, negative 1. There is none. Alright? Wala pong sagot na negative 1. Hence, this angle does not exist. Kaya ang sagot lang ay 60 degrees. Ganito ang solution set nyo with braces and then your answer. So this is the answer for this given equation.